Okay.
But I just started our YouTube live stream. I'm also going to start our recording. All these are recorded and kept on file at the city. There's one more administrative thing I need to go through before we get started. But I think to answer your question, it appears to me that there's only one request for relief, and that's to locate your signage on a non-frontage facade of the building.
That is correct.
Okay. So knowing that and knowing that we do have the renderings, would you like to go forward, or would you like to wait for the gentleman from the sign company?
I'm fine to proceed, and we'll see how far we can get.
Okay, sounds good. So bear with me here for a minute while I start. All right, as I go through our hearing script, this will basically just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll jump right into it. So this is the September 28th, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the City of Cincinnati, and I'll preside over this hearing. The case before us today is case number ZH20220142. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If we had anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to present after the applicant had presented his case. I will give our zoning plans examiner, Trey Sheldon, an opportunity to provide any testimony that he would like. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to an application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. I'll have some questions along the way. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. And I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony. That's generally testimony you're trying to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who's not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, as we're seeing right now. Cassandra hopefully is working behind the scenes to try and help us get this individual in. But to the extent there's some defect in our tech that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay. Last thing I need to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So if you intend on providing any testimony here today, you need to be sworn in. So I'll need everyone who intends to provide testimony to take themselves off mute, to raise their right hand, and to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Okay, great. All right, Mr. Lockett, floor is yours if you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Sturkey. Yes, I run real estate for Alta Fiber, and we're requesting a variance for our sign at Dana Avenue at 2120. We are replacing an existing sign that faces east, and because how the building is situated, how close it is to the street, we did not do frontage on the south side, and so we're requesting this variance to have the signage on the east side and convert that from a box sign to a channel letter sign to be more consistent with our branding, and that's the essence of the request before you today.
Okay, so you saying you have no signs on the actual frontage of the building on the south side?
Yes, not to my knowledge. I believe the only sign is on the east side there.
And how large is the existing? So are you, well, let me back up. Are you changing the sign because there's a different tenant in that building?
Oh, we're changing this because we're rebranding from Cincinnati Bell to Alta Fiber.
And the existing Cincinnati Bell sign, how large is that?
That is, I don't know the specifics. I would guess somewhere in the range of 3 feet high by 4 feet wide, somewhere in that range.
Okay. And the new sign, is it larger, smaller, or the same size?
It is smaller. I would say it's probably the same width, about 4 feet wide, but probably 2 feet tall. So a little bit shorter. And there's more white space. There's a lot more white space. It doesn't, it's not a box sign being channel letter. More of the brick will show through, and it'll be just the letters.
Is the sign illuminated in any way? The current or proposed new sign?
Yes, but the existing is stated in the proposed sign is illuminated.
I missed you there, Mr. Lockett. It broke up a little bit. Could you repeat that?
Yes, both are eliminated.
David, I can speak to if you'd like me to.
Sure, Mr. Lockett, I'm having trouble hearing you. I'm gonna see if Trey can fill in some of the blanks here.
If you look at page 3 of my staff report, I think it pretty much explains the situation in total. You basically have a building that was built many years ago out to I think in the 50s or 60s, all the way out to the street frontage. Let me see. Yeah, it's built in 1960. Out to the street frontage, and so and because there's a building further to the east of this, there is really effectively no way to do a ground sign that could show you where this business is, and it's at a very busy intersection area there where you have the highway I-71 right there, as well as a Tri-Health and other medical facilities right across the street. So you've got like 2 lanes of traffic in each direction, plus turning lanes in each thing. So most people, Dana's really busy arterial street at this point, and most people would be coming from the I-71 exchange to this. And the parking area you see in figure 3 to the right is both for people who are Bell employees, but also visitors. And then if further down, there's another parking lot back past it where you might have service vans coming, whether those people are part of their fleet regularly based there or not. But anyhow, this serves basically as the effect of a ground sign, an identification sign, David, because there's no other practical way to put a sign there. Also, frankly speaking, it pre-exists. The sign has existed there for a very long time. I think they replaced it one other time. And it actually is not as wide as it's a smaller sign. It goes for 20 something square feet down to about 15.5. If you're on that page still, page 3, looking at it, you can see the width of the windows there. The image down below the proposed sign is a little bit blown up, so it makes it look like it's bigger, but it's not. If you look at the width of those windows, that sign's less than 3 kind of columns of windows wide. And if you look at the existing signage, you can see that it's 4 columns of windows wide. So you can tell how it's reduced that, and it's also as the gentleman, Mr. Lockett, spoke to, because it's not a solid box sign, cabinet sign, but channel letters, it also has probably even less sign area. So basically, it's reducing a non-conforming condition.
What about the illumination, Trey?
I believe both signs are illuminated. It's hooked up for electricity.
Internally illuminated?
Yes.
Okay. Will there be any significant difference in the brightness or lumens on the new sign?
Not that I know of. I mean, this is a manufacturing district, so I didn't really look at that. It doesn't border a residential district to that side. You know what I mean? To that side, it's railroad tracks to the north and a highway interchange due east. So I didn't even look at that as far as the impacts. It's way smaller than normally. Like if this had frontage, they'd be allowed to do a much larger sign, in a manufacturing district. So I usually, frankly, I mean, the fellow from the sign company looks like he's on here now. He might be able to speak to that. But I don't generally look at that unless there's some potential adverse effect. And this faces a major highway interchange. It's in a manufacturing district next to railroad tracks. And there's a planned development district across the street with a lot of illuminated signage for hospitals, entrances for the hospital. There's 2 medical facilities right across the street to the south. So there's, if anything's causing any illumination, it's probably that. So I just think of this primarily as being identification signage It's certainly wayfinding if you're a new employee or somebody in a van trying to get here, or if you're a visitor to the facility and you're trying to get here. There's no other identifying signage, no ground sign, no nothing.
Thanks, Trey.
You're welcome.
Mr. Caldo, welcome. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the zoning hearing examiner for the city of Cincinnati. I'm presiding over the hearing. We're pretty much all the way through here. Just a couple of quick questions. I need to swear you in. If you could raise your right hand and answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Great. So quickly, the illumination, is it the same type of illumination, internally illuminated?
It is LED illuminated.
Okay. And so
It has a acrylic face over the LED light, so it's not an exposed illumination.
gotcha. Okay. And so no significant difference in brightness between the two signs?
No, it's going to be similar. The old sign probably has fluorescence in it. This has LEDs, similar to what all signs are produced with these days. Maybe, slightly brighter just due to the fact that it's will be a new sign versus the older sign.
Got it. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, Mr. Caudill, sorry about the technical difficulties there. I think we're all the way through. So I think, I'll save us some time and just go ahead and wrap this hearing up, leave the testimony where it is. Mr. Lockett was able to answer a lot of my questions along with the zoning plans examiner, Trey Sheldon. So I've had a chance to review the application materials, the staff reports. I'm very familiar with this area, and based on that and the testimony that I've heard today, I'm going to approve the application. I need to formalize that decision in a written opinion. That usually takes a couple weeks. As soon as I finish that, I put it into a PDF and I email it to everybody who's in the hearing here today. So you all have a copy of that decision just moments after it's complete, including Mr. Sheldon. And so you'll be able to work with Trey to get the permitting approved as soon as you have that decision. Do you have any questions about any of that right now?
No, sounds good. Appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, great. Well, if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to me directly. If you'd like a status update on the decision, feel free to reach out to me directly. Happy to provide that update for you. I want to thank everyone for their time, their testimony here today. I think that's it. Hope you have a good day. We're adjourned.
Thank you. You too.
All right.